Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to a new trading week. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift, and welcome to your Sunday weekly review. So if you take a look at the calendar this week, it looks like the red folders are going to be at the end of the week here, Thursday and Friday. Nothing here in the beginning of the week to really worry about. Wednesday we do have FOMC, however it is not followed by the press conference, as you can see, and this is probably not going to be as volatile as FOMC that we had last month, because obviously we're not expecting any kind of rate change with this one. So this is probably going to be a non-issue. The one that I would worry about this week is going to be on Thursday here at 8:30 a.m. for the New York session here, CPI, because as we know, CPI has always given us some pretty crazy moves. So you want to watch out for this on Thursday. And then Friday we've also got core PPI and PPI news, which could also set some stuff off. So that is also in the New York session, 8:30 a.m. So it looks like we're looking at New York volatility towards the end of the week, right? So just be mindful of that when you're in your trades, or if you're holding trades through from London. So let's take a look at the charts. We're going to continue where we left off from last week, and NFP moves and all of the other stuff that we had going on coming into the week. So if you look at the DXY chart here from our monthly top-down perspective, we can see here that price has come down and taken out this internal low here, right? And now the target, overall, the monthly is, in a retracement, right? We're expecting price to continue down, into these areas here, and I'd like to see price come and take out this low in this consolidation here. However, we've just recently taken out this low, right? And you can see that we've gotten a very strong kind of bullish candle forming this 3-bar swing low back up into the range, right? So now keep in mind that we are in a monthly consolidation, and we have been consolidating for several months, right? Since basically last year, at the start of 2023, right? End of 2022. That's when this kind of consolidation, this pullback consolidation started forming and happening, and we're still in that right now. So after taking out this kind of internal low here, right, just above the $100 mark, or thereabouts, right? We can see that we have a nice little shift and a change in momentum coming back up. So I would expect price now to make a run back up into the range, right? So we've got this monthly imbalance here, we've got this monthly OB up here, right? And so I'd expect price now to start making its way up towards filling those areas, right? So I'll be looking for something like this, making a lower high, and then continuing down as expected, right? So that is kind of the expectation from a monthly perspective right now. Let's drop down to a weekly chart, okay, and see where we're at. So now we can see here, we ended the week last week here with a very strong kind of bullish engulfing candle after taking out the internal kind of equal lows over here. So let's drop to the weekly markups, okay, and we can see that price has respected the low end OB here at the extreme, right? So we've taken out the internal lows, right? A nice little move down below that area, and then tapped into the extreme OB here, and then we saw the very strong bullish engulfing move to the upside from NFP at the close of the week, right? So we're looking now for price to trade back up into this range, okay? We've got a couple of areas of interest we can watch for if we put back the monthly target area here, right? So we can see kind of the overlap with the weekly. We'll be looking at these OB targets here, which is the first one would be this one with the imbalance behind, right? And the one just above that as well, right here. Okay, both valid points of interest for price to draw back up into. And certainly we could see price come up and take out the structure high as well, right? Keeping inside of this range that we're currently in, just like we did over here. So I would expect price to now continue to go up, seeking liquidity towards those areas. So this would be the first area that I would target. Okay, so coming back up to this imbalance area here, looking at 103. Possibly up into 104 again, into that territory, okay, and then giving us a reaction. So that would be the first area. The second area would be up here if we continue to go higher, and then seeing if we will get a reaction from that area. Right, dropping down to the daily, right, and seeing the nice daily structure here. So if you remember from last week, we did call this specific move here that it did, because we noted that price had taken out the lows here, right, and we had price giving us a little fractional disparity between DXY, EU, and GU. We saw that kind of foresight before it kind of happened here. And so I was targeting for price to either come up and take out the structural high here, which you can see it did, right, or to come back into the imbalance in the OB here, which, you know, I kind of was looking for that to happen over here, but obviously we had to create some liquidity for them to do that first, right? So it took a little bit longer than expected, but we finally did get back up in here, right? And now you can see the reaction from that tapping into the OB there and filling the imbalance. So now looking for potentially a reaction, right, at this point of interest here, coming back into the range, giving us a retracement, but then ultimately going back up to the areas that we're looking for on the weekly, right, in those areas up there. So that is the plan, right? And so whether or not this is going to play out the way I expect it to or not, we will see. So let's go to the 4 hour, and we'll drop down and see if we can get that 4 hour confirmation as well. So if we drop to the 4 hour markups, we can see how very nice. This is right at the start of the week too. You can see here from Sunday crossing over into Monday at the start of this week. We had a nice dip below, nice manipulation. We'll stop hunt below the wick low, right, from the news candle here. And we didn't get a change of character here, right? So we got a very nice fast down, fast up movement, but all that did was basically create the equal lows and liquidity for them to come back for that level here, right? It was kind of a false move. Which created liquidity below the lows here, which gave them the fuel, right, after they grabbed liquidity to then zoom up to the area we are now. Look at that move. Look at the force and the you know, the magnitude of this move right after liquidity was taken. I mean, it was pretty much immediate, right? And after that, we got the 4 hour change of character, obviously taking out the structure and all of the structures subsequently after that, right? And then we finally got the break of the H4 structure up here, okay, which now we're currently bullish, right, up and looking up into these areas here. This will be the target liquidity above this high into the imbalance up here, right, and that was the weekly areas that we're looking for, and the weekly points of interest, right? So we're looking for potentially the start of the week. We'll look for a little retracement. Okay, we have a nice imbalance here that we'll trade back into. Okay, we'll target this zone first. Okay, see if we can get back in there. It might not even get down there, but ultimately we'll be looking for some kind of swing high to form, right, and then the continuation up. Okay, so that will be the precedence that the dollar sets for us, right? So DXY does this, right? Then we can be fairly confident in terms of what the rest of the pairs here will do. So let's go over to EU. We're going to go over to the EU. This is the weekly. Let's go to the monthly chart first. So monthly top down. All right, as you can see, once again, just like, you know, before, we're still inside of this big monthly consolidation, right? The last kind of, you know, higher low that was formed here came up and took out the internal high, right? And so we were expecting price to now retrace back into the monthly OB, into the discount of that new kind of small range here, right? And then to continue up after that, right? So we're going to be expecting price to continue, right, in this kind of bullish little range here, but the pullback has happened, right? So we took out a internal high, we had this 3-bar swing confirmation, the pullback on the return, right? Nice bearish candle, bearish momentum sitting in, and now we're looking for price to come back into the monthly OB, into that discount, into that higher low that we formed, right, in that new range, and then create the new higher low and then continue up. So we'll look for a retracement right now. Let's go to the weekly, right? And as you can see here, big bearish shift candle, right? And the nice bearish momentum setting in from the end of the week and after the NFP move here, right? So looking for the retracement down into the monthly OB area here. Okay, so let's drop down to the weekly markups to see. This is where it's currently trading into. I do not expect that to potentially hold. If you look at the monthly here, we're looking at this area, so maybe looking to come back, taking out some internal liquidity as we do so, right? Or maybe even coming down lower. But we'll see if we want to get price to retrace a little bit further down into this weekly range. So if you can see here, the weekly range we're currently in right now is right here. So inside of the discount area here, we've got, you know, this point of interest and this point of interest here. So we're looking for price to retrace, right? And then eventually come back up. So we'll see if we take some liquidity before we do it. Holding the extreme low is the goal, right? And so all of this in here, you know, potentially could be just inducement targets or liquidity. We can look for price to come down to run before making that swing low and going up, right? And whether or not we, you know, continue down and through, we have yet to see. But initially, we're going to be looking for price to go lower anyway, right? So we're looking for a move down into the discount areas, and then from there we'll see where price goes, or how price reacts to the points of interest we have marked, and then how it will continue. So let's drop down to the daily now, and we'll see how the daily contrasts with the monthly and the weekly. Now you'll notice that the daily we have price coming up and failing to take out the high over here. So we had a nice little failure swing, a nice grab of liquidity, a stop hunt, and then a big shift with a change of character, right? And also taking out the internal structure here as well. So we're going to be looking for price to continue down, as we are in a bearish retracement right now. And we're looking for daily points of interest, right? This OB here I've marked, okay, in the discount region, but I'm certainly looking for price to go lower than that. So we could also look for price to come down to here. Ultimately, we're looking for price to hold this low here, right? So all of this here could be targets to the downside that we could trade back into to this consolidation. All right, so a couple of targets to the downside. And so if we go to the 4 hour, all right, so what am I looking for here at the start of the week? If we get a move down, or we have gotten a move down here to this low, but we get down to the daily OB area, the point of interest that we're looking for price to react, we'll take this low here as an inducement or liquidity, right? And so we want to see a nice bullish reaction when we trade down into here, right? So seeing if we get back into this area and giving us a bullish reaction. So 4 hour liquidity here was already taken, right, with a big shift. So now we'll see if we can get the continuation after taking this low over here and trading into this nice consolidation. Right. So initially looking for a move down. Whether we come down, you know, initially first, right, or we see a pullback, because you can see that we do have a 3-bar here coming back up into the range. If we pull back first into here, then I'll be looking for a continuation down into that zone, right? And that should be a trade that forms at the start of the week or sometime near the start of the week, right, where we get a false move, week beginning, a little bullish retracement, and then the continuation down. And then we see we forget how far we get down, you know, at the end of the week. And then, of course, we've got the red news to kind of fuel that move if that's the case. All right, so that is EU. Let's drop over to GU next. Okay, now from a monthly perspective, GU has reached our monthly points of interest, the targets that we're looking for to trade into, which is the imbalance in the OB here. Okay, after taking out the internal high, you can see that we did get a nice reaction to the level here, a big bearish engulfing that is forming here, right, to the downside. So after taking out the structure, trading into the nice point of interest that we're looking for it to do, and then now giving us a retracement back to the monthly OB area, so either here or here, right, the last higher low structure, right? So essentially looking for, just like on EU, a retrace back to this discount area and then the continuation up, right? So we are expecting it to continue up, but now that we are, now they've gotten the reaction here, we'll be looking for retracement. So if we go to the weekly chart and we take a look at the weeklies, Okay, the high here broken to the upside, or the internal high swept, right? And then the big shift down. So you can see the nice 3-bar swing candle with a big bearish engulfing weekly. We ended the week there with a big weekly engulfing candle, and now looking to take out the internal structural low here as we trade lower into these monthly discount areas. So if I drop the monthly again here, this is one area we're looking for, right? And then another one down here. So looking for the liquidity here to be taken as we trade down into the next point of interest down here. So if we look at this, right, this would be potentially an area to watch, as well as the one down here. Right, and then we'll see how it reacts to those areas once we get there, either here or here, and then if we get a move back up from there to the upside, right? All of this is potentially fair game. Like we could see price come down for all of these lows here and trade into the bigger swing low, right? We have a nice little imbalance in OB sitting here as well, right? But that's way down the line. So we want to see how we react to certain areas first before we kind of jump to these kind of bigger, higher time frame conclusions. All right, so the initial move down here to one of these points of interest first. Let's drop to the daily, and we'll see how that contrasts on the daily. Because you got to keep in mind that these are weekly candles we're talking about there, so it could take a long time for that to play out to those areas that we're looking for on the weeklies. So here's the daily. The daily has the daily swing high formed with the change of character and the shift. Okay, as you can see. The daily OB here, right? But I'm expecting that to be traded through, but we certainly could see if we get a little retracement first. So maybe essentially something like this, where we get a pullback, right? Just like from EU, we're going to be expecting a false move week beginning. We'll get a pullback into some of these daily imbalance areas here, and I'd like to see a failure swing, right? And then basically the right shoulder of this nice little head and shoulders move on the way down. Okay, and that should be the start of the week here. So on the 4-hour, let's see how that plays out. Okay, so on the 4-hour, we've got a nice swing high up here. All right, takes out the high, just barely wicks it. Okay, and then we get a nice big shift down. So I love the liquidity grab up here, the stop hunting, right? And then we can see the failure swing, failure to make a new high here, and then the big kind of breakdown as we shift, and then the momentum kicks in, the bearish momentum, and then the NFP move that we see here at the end of the week, right? So we've come down here, we've taken out all these structural lows, we've traded into this nice bullish kind of discount H4 bullish area. We have the imbalance and the mitigation of the high here, right? As we're trading, if I can extend this across, you can see basically we're coming into this area here and reacting to this POI here, right? So now I've got a nice kind of big shift to the downside here with a reaction. So if we can get price to kind of give us a swing low here and retracement, like I said, the false move week beginning can start from this point right here, right? Because we've just taken out this low with this nice bullish reaction to the upside. So I'd like to see something like this, where we come up and trade into the pocket here, take out this high, and then form like a lower high, and then the continuation down. So this was the daily depiction. Here's my H4 depiction, right? And I've got this H4 point of interest right here. Okay, or basically this whole up move really. Okay, so anywhere in this pocket here, and this is kind of what I want to see, right? So I want to see an initial move up at the start of the week here, trading into, a point of interest here that gives us a reaction, and then the short sell-off to continue in the bearish order flow that we're seeing, right? Targeting this low here. Okay, so that should be the plan here for GU going out. Now let's drop over to gold. So gold is really interesting this week because, as you can see, all we've been doing so far is going higher, right? And we reached some all-time high levels here. We're nearing the 2,700 mark, right? Which we will probably hit. But there's a chance that we see price, after taking out some significant liquidity and key levels, we're going to look for some kind of retracement, right? which we did get somewhat over here, right? But it continued, right, up to the upside here. So we'll look to see if we can get maybe another one of those moves, because you can see that we're going to be getting some kind of retracement back from EU and GU and these other pairs. Gold should follow suit, and it really hasn't so far. So we have to kind of be cautious with this. But you know, the weekly, you can see here that we have also been continuing just to go up and up, right? But the last candle, or the last week, basically we finished, you know, kind of inside the previous week. So we have a little inside bar here. We have basically price failing to make a higher high from the previous week. So there is a potential 3-bar swing formation here, right? So a swing high that is forming. So even if we do even just get a little retracement back into the weekly OB back in here, that would certainly be a lot of pips because it's a weekly chart, right? So if we drop to the daily and kind of look how that translates from a daily, let me put the daily markups here, right? So we can see that we have a daily swing high, right? So now we do have a 3-bar here. It is a confirmed 3-bar, and we can see that the price has been failing or struggling really to get above that last high that we made here. So this little consolidation is how we basically ended the week, right? So now all we're really looking for is for price to give us confirmation that that is going to be a swing high, and at least trade back into, you know, some of this imbalance area with the daily OB here, right? So I would like to see price continue to kind of break down and fall into this area right here. So I'm looking for basically just a continuation of this lower high here, right? The failure swing here, and then the continuation down into that daily OB area, right? Certainly we could go lower than that as well. That would be nice. But initially, this is all I'm looking for here at the start of the week. Okay, so we drop to the 4-hour, and we'll see how the 4-hour plays out like that. Okay, so on the 4-hour, as you can see here, nice 4-hour wick, okay, with the change of character and the shift. Price came back up to mitigate. We can see that we failed to go higher from this point here, and we can see we're still continuing to fail to go higher. Here's the NFP kind of wick that happened, right, that move. So NFP came up, we swept the side, the upside here and the downside, and we're still basically just kind of trapped inside of this kind of 4-hour consolidation here, right? So essentially this is the range I'm looking to work with here, and price has so far traded into the premium there and continued down, right, back into the discount, and we're probably going to see a bunch of back and forth here this week. So we'll see how this goes. Right, but essentially I'm looking for price to continue down like so. Okay, something to that effect. Obviously, you know, I don't know how many iterations of this, you know, back and forth we're going to do, but this is what I'd like to see happen at the start of the week. I want to see price holding the area up here. So anytime we get back into this area, this zone here, I'll be looking for short opportunities to hold the highs here, and I basically don't want to see price come back and reach, you know, this structural high again. Right, and if we can do that and trade below here, then there's a very good chance that that is going to be a major reversal point, right? And then we'll see kind of gold finally retrace back into the range, you know, like we've been expecting it to do. Right, so that will be gold, and then last but not least, we have NASDAQ. Okay, from a monthly standpoint, you can see that there is also not much has happened. You know, we've stayed pretty much right up in this 20K mark area here, okay? But again, just like you know, the previous pairs, we haven't been able to breach the previous high that we've created, right? So we're coming back up to this high here. We did not, you know, trade above the weekly high from the structural high over here, right? The all-time high that we created, which is about 20,800, right, area. And so far we're, you know, creating this kind of lower high, or looks like we're creating this lower high here. So potentially we could see, like I said, another failure swing here, and then a continuation down, right? And so that is basically what we're looking for to happen, right? We've traded back into the weekly imbalance here, back into the weekly OB, and then this is also translates into that daily OB area, which we'll see in a second, okay? But the initial kind of wick reaction here and the push up so far has not been able to push through and take the high, Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of resistance here. We've got a lower high forming. So on the daily, that area translates to that daily point of interest that we've been looking for price to get up into. Finally did that, right? Filled that imbalance in, traded into the OB, and then gave us a nice little reaction, right? And then the push down. So what I'm looking for now is for price to hold that high area here, right? You can see that we do have a reaction back to the upside here. So I'd like to see price hold this little range here, and I'd like to see price continue to fall and basically continue this retracement. All right, we can see 3 pushes here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then now we just want to see, you know, a breakdown. So another big shift would be nice. If we go to the 4-hour, all right, we can see that price is currently holding at the 4-hour OB and balance area here. Okay, where we got the shift and the change of character. All right, we certainly could probably go, you know, there's still areas up here, and then the extreme OB that we could, you know, kind of trade into as well and react to. But I would like to see price just kind of, you know, hold where it is right now. It doesn't necessarily have to get up here, right? And then, you know, this area right here looks pretty nice as a reaction. And then I just want to see this kind of break down and fall, right? If we take out this structure, then that's a pretty good indication that, like I said, that'll be a major reversal point. And then we'll see price start to retrace back down. All right, so we'll look for that this week at the start of the week of the open if we can, and then we'll just kind of take it day by day from there. So that is the rundown, guys. A little bit longer video than usual today. Kind of rambled on a bit on some stuff, but hopefully you guys got the gist. If you have any questions at all, you can go ahead and drop some comments below the video, or you can message me on Telegram. That's probably easier, as you can message me direct. Okay. Any questions you have, I will get back to you as soon as you can. For those of you that have not yet signed up for our free membership content, I would suggest that you do that. You guys will get access to these videos before I post them up on YouTube, and you can also have discussions with me in the community there as well and ask me questions there. And for those of you that are interested in, you know, the weekly day-by-day analysis, okay, so obviously this is a weekly review, but, you know, with my VIP group, I go through each day, I look through, you know, all of the pairs, and I, you know, go through run the different analysis on the pairs that I see, look at the different, you know, opportunities that present themselves each day, and also give you guys some insights into what I see setting up and what I see happening throughout the week. So for those of you interested in that, I would encourage you to sign up for the VIP membership, which you can also do via the link below. And any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer as well. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for this video. If you have anything else, let me know. But you know, that's pretty much it. That's going to do it. If you have any questions, just contact me. Hope you guys have a great trading week. I know we just came off of kind of a crazy week last week, right? So, you know, hopefully this week will be a little bit better. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this video. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Feel me.